I'm just ready to see heaven. And I have those moments where I want to see angels. I want to see streets of gold. I want to see pearly gates. I want to see glass seas. I want all the bad stuff to be wiped out. I want all the tears to be wiped away. I want all the pain to disappear. And I want to see heaven so bad that in those times I forget what makes heaven so heavenly. You know what makes heaven so heavenly? Jesus. You know why heaven is so heavenly? Because Jesus is there. It's his presence is in the midst of heaven. And I often forget that Jesus isn't just over there, and Jesus isn't just a future thing. And I think we forget that. We get so caught up in the idea of, I want to see heaven, and I can't wait for heaven to come in the future, that we think that Jesus is just a future thing, but Jesus is also a today thing. This is how I imagine Jesus saying this. Imagine him looking at the Pharisees, and the Pharisees are looking to the stars and the signs and just wondering, God, when is that coming here? When is heaven coming here? And Jesus has to grab a hold of their face and redirect their eyes towards his. He says, I think you might be too focused on heaven up there that you're missing out that the kingdom of heaven is in your midst. You're so focused on out there or that time and that place that you miss that the Son of God is standing in your presence. Church, I wonder if we're so focused on heaven over there that we're missing the fact that the presence of heaven is right here. Heaven isn't just a future place. Heaven is the present presence of Jesus. Yes, I think heaven is coming. What we've talked about all series, I believe it's true. I believe there is a time when Jesus is going to come back and every tear is going to be wiped away. Every bad thing is going to disappear. I believe that a future is coming when all things are going to be made right. When sicknesses are wiped away. Amen? Anybody ready for that? When every tear is gone. Anybody ready for that? I believe that there's going to be a day when there's going to be no more such thing as cancer. Anybody ready for that? There's a day coming when heaven is coming here, but even in the midst of the hell we experience today on earth, I believe that we can also experience the heaven that is coming in the future, and we can experience it right now on earth as well. And heaven may not be here fully yet, but I do believe it started. I believe that heaven is dripping down into earth. I believe there's a future heaven, a more full experience of heaven, that the fullness of heaven will eventually invade our existence. But I believe that we don't have to wait to experience heaven for the first time in the future when we can experience the drips of heaven today. I believe that where Jesus is, that's where heaven grows. What makes heaven so heavenly? It's the fact that Jesus' presence and God's presence is there. And I think what gives us the opportunity to experience heaven on earth today is the fact that Jesus' presence is here. And where Jesus is, that's where heaven grows. The question that John Piper posed in his book is this. He says this: the critical question for our generation and for every generation is this, that if you could have heaven with no sickness and with all the friends you ever had on earth and all the foods you've ever liked and all the leisure activities that you've ever enjoyed, and all the natural beauties that you've ever seen, all the physical pleasure you ever tasted, and no human conflict or any natural disasters, could you be satisfied with heaven if Christ were not there? I think our hearts are longing for something. I sometimes wonder if we're more longing for heaven or we're longing for what makes heaven heavenly. I think we're longing for all these things to be removed and all these things to be added, and Jesus is like, get your eyes off of that. Get your eyes off of that. Heaven's not just something over there. Heaven is something we can experience right here.